So we've got some new news regarding Martin Scorsese and his ever-growing roster of upcoming projects. As those who have been following the filmmaker's career will know, he seems to have several projects that he has in the works, and the most recent announcement seems to be the weirdest. I'm at a stage, especially given Scorsese is 82, where I just want him to start making any movie. Time is of the essence, if you know what I mean. Killers of the Flower Moon was released in 2023 and it was actually shot in 2021, so it's been some time. It was thought that Scorsese's next film would be Life of Jesus, a biopic of Jesus set in modern times. Then there was news that his long-gestated Sinatra biopic was back on the cards. Both projects, however, have now been postponed indefinitely. There was also The Wager, a shipwreck movie based on the true story novel by David Gran. That was announced some time ago but has gone very quiet. Although, to be honest, given Gran wrote the Killers of the Flower Moon book, I actually suspect there was some kind of under-the-table deal that involved an announcement that Scorsese would make Gran's next book, so the author's work could get some publicity. That's my take anyway. I just can't see an 80-plus-year-old Scorsese making a shipwreck movie. It's very likely that his next movie might actually be a small-scale drama called Home, based on the book by Marilyn Robson. Aside from that, the only real other notable announcement was that Scorsese and DiCaprio's serial killer movie Devil in the White City, a dead project, was back on. But if you actually read the report, there isn't even a script yet, so even if Scorsese plans to make it, it's years away. This isn't really a new phenomenon. Scorsese often has a handful of movies in development at any given time. I reckon he tries to push them all at the same time, and whichever gains traction first, the funding coming in and all of that, he ends up going for that one, instead of hedging his bets on a single project that takes years and ends up getting shelved. There have been some bizarre recent developments though. Scorsese is now set to direct a new gangster movie. I mean, already it's weird, as The Irishman was clearly supposed to be his final gangster movie, but it's an as of yet untitled Hawaiian mob drama starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the lead role. What? I know in my last video I talked about wanting Scorsese to work with other actors aside from Leonardo DiCaprio, who is also cast in the film by the way, but I didn't mean start working with The Rock. That's not what I meant, Marty. The movie is also set to star Emily Blunt, and within the past few days a bidding war has erupted between studios for what looks like to be a $100 million to $200 million crime thriller. Set in the 60s and 70s Hawaii, the film is said to follow an aspiring mob boss played by Johnson, who fights rival crime factions for control of the underworld of the Hawaiian Islands. Scorsese has hired Vanity Fair journalist and documentary filmmaker Nick Bilton to write the screenplay. The plot outline is as follows. The untold true story of a man who fought to preserve his homeland through a ruthless quest for absolute power, igniting the last great American mob saga, where the war for cultural survival takes place in the unlikeliest of places, paradise. Now apparently this is Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt's project, and they approached Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, and rather than laugh them out of the room, it appears that the duo have been enticed by the project, with Scorsese hiring Bilton to write the script. Of course, this news does not mean it will be Scorsese's next film. It's in early development, but this is a very real development. It's not just some random rumour. Of course, given Scorsese's busy schedule, this could end up being one of those movies he's attached to direct, but only ends up producing in the end, like The Snowman or something. Or to be more cynical, maybe he even lends his name to projects to help them get funded, and there's an envelope under the table in it for him for doing so. I'm not sure what to think of this. I'm kind of taken aback. Scorsese was seemingly going to start making, as he had already started doing, smaller, more spiritual films. And now apparently he's taking on a Dwayne Johnson crime film which has been described as a cross between Goodfellas and The Departed. It's weird, but I can't say I'm not intrigued. But Dwayne Johnson? Really? I can't say I'm an expert on the man, but isn't he really limited as an actor? More of a movie star? It's as far away from a Scorsese casting as you can imagine, and I can't see that the idea of him headlining a Marty film excites me. But then again, Johnson has shot a film with Benny Safdie, and he's given an interview where he said he wants to make movies that matter, that explore humanity, struggle and pain. So maybe the writing's on the wall and he can see his time as an action star is coming to an end and is looking to reinvent himself. I mean, I guess, just to play devil's advocate, What we see of him in his movies is a carefully cultivated persona. He's the Rock in everything because he's supposed to be the Rock in everything, and it's not necessarily indicative of the limitations of his acting abilities. And apparently he has been good in several movies, so I can't really comment because I haven't seen them. But ultimately though, it does seem like from Scorsese's options, this feels like almost a kind of bottom of the barrel paycheck flick that sounds like a Michael Bay Netflix movie, which it surely can't be if Scorsese is serious about doing it. And if he is serious about it, well then, it's Scorsese, it's gangsters, it's an untapped Hawaiian setting, why not? Sounds cool. It could be great fun, but as with any Scorsese flick, not really worth getting excited about until the cameras start actually rolling. Could it be a case, I wonder, of Scorsese frustrated that these passion projects he's trying to get off the ground are not coming to fruition, and he's just thinking, fine, I'll just make a mob flick with a bankable star because I don't have time to keep fighting the studios. At least I'll be behind a camera again, doing what I love. I doubt it, to be honest. You look at interviews he's done recently, and he does not look like he is at all in a frame of mind to be doing paycheck movies. Heck, he's even expressed regret at directing films like Shutter Island, because he's now at an age where time is a precious commodity. This is the main reason why this news is so weird, that it borderlines on simply being unbelievable. But when you look at all the projects that Scorsese has lined up, this seems like the one that would be easiest to make. The Rock and DiCaprio pretty much guarantee it will get funded, and Scorsese and his crew can spend a few months on Hawaii beaches, and I can see Scorsese making it work. Maybe Scorsese has gone back to his one for them, one for me model, and will accept making this movie so long as whatever studio gets it finances his next personal movie. By the way, something amusing, seeing as though The Rock is famous for that eyebrow raise he does. Did you know that Scorsese hates eyebrow movement? According to his longtime editor Thelma Schoonmaker, she said that he, and I quote, hates it when an actor uses eyebrows to emphasize something. He does not allow eyebrow movement. Scorsese is no stranger to idiosyncratic casting choices, but I can't quite think of an example as balmy as this. Maybe Sylvester Stallone in Mark Ruffalo's role in Shutter Island, which he apparently was offered but turned it down. Stallone can be a great actor when he wants to though, so maybe that's not a good example. Sharon Stone was known as something of a Hollywood diva, and she was magnificent in Casino. I thought she stole the spotlight from De Niro and Pesci. Mainstream A-listers like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt were also originally set to star in The Departed, and let's not forget Scorsese got Marky Mark to get an Oscar nomination for this film. But this is really out there, I think. Dwayne Johnson headlining a Scorsese movie. It feels wrong saying it. Genuinely sounds like a joke. But of course, it isn't like Scorsese has handpicked him, it's the other way around. So it's not as if Scorsese has seen something in The Rock that we haven't. It's that The Rock has somehow managed to convince Scorsese to make his project. And since there's no script, it must have been some pitch for Johnson and Blunt to get Scorsese and DiCaprio on board. Maybe the duo just fancy a holiday to Hawaii. You know, call me boring, but for some reason, Home is the announced project of Scorsese that I'm looking forward to most. I just feel enticed by the idea of Scorsese doing something small-scaled and intimate again, a family drama with a small group of actors. And then again, he does tend to come out with a mainstream, crowd-pleasing banger every decade, like The Wolf of Wall Street or The Departed, which he hasn't done so in some time. Maybe this is made in that vein, and it could end up great fun. In terms of Scorsese's other projects, I've heard that the Jesus film has a script, but I'm not sure why it hasn't gone ahead. Tensions in the Middle East, perhaps, with Scorsese looking to have filmed there? The Sinatra movie is ready to go, but Scorsese can't work it out with the Sinatra estate. Home has a script, and it has a home, so to speak, at Apple, and the book is part of a trilogy. Apparently Scorsese is working with Todd Field and Kent Jones. Each director is making one film in the series, and apparently scheduling issues are what's caused delays on this project. What do you make of this news, and what Scorsese project do you want to see end up happening? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.